tell me, give me a thumbs up here.
We're ready.
My name is Randy Doolittle, and I am the president of the Board of Directors and spokesperson for the board. Mr. Ted Johnson, to my right, is with me today, our board treasurer. We would like to discuss the financial state of Heritage Pines and the steps that we are about to make. I would like to focus on food and beverage. At the end of the first quarter of the current fiscal year, our restaurant revenues continued to grow, but at a rate which does not cover associated expenses. Year to date, our expenses in F&B, or food and beverage, are $99,000 over budget, and this is not acceptable. The primary causes stem from overstaffing and, to a lesser extent, excessive inventories and the cost of entertainment. Our general manager, Mr. Chuck Eade, started 10 months ago and was very enthusiastic about improving the quality of services for the residents. He believed that if he could implement cost savings initiatives for the community, he could pass these savings on to the residents and offer an enhanced food and beverage experience. Indeed, we have enjoyed the increased services, but the necessary payroll to deliver this is not part of our budget. We must now bring the food and beverage expenses back into line. The following is a sample of the general manager's cost-saving initiatives to date. Number one, the cost of universal services, otherwise known as our security services, was going to increase by over 20%. So this service was brought in-house. Number two, the general manager and the board discovered that Valley Crest ignored completing some of their contracted services on the golf course, and their services were terminated. That service has been brought in-house with an estimated savings of $180,000 annually. The cost of health care was rapidly increasing, so that we have gone to a larger personnel company called Oasis. This company has been able to reduce our health care costs for our association and for our employees as well. Plus, Oasis provides additional training for our residents, our employees. In summary, the general manager believed that by cutting expenses in other areas of our budget, that the increase in food and beverage expenses would be offset. Year to date, the association has made a profit of $153,000, but this figure is not to budget, and Ted will review this in his presentation. With the new budget of 2015, the board early within the fiscal year became aware that the expenses in food and beverage were excessive from budget. We expressed our concerns to the general manager and asked for changes to reduce the deficit. For the last 8 weeks, 3 board members have been meeting almost weekly with the general manager to listen to changes that he would make. After 8 weeks, the board decided a more rapid recovery was needed. A consultant was considered because our one board member felt that the finance committee, although very talented and capable, were composed of volunteers in retirement would not be interested in working an estimated 40 hours a week for 1 or 2 months on this project. We were pleasantly surprised by the support that we received from the finance committee and quickly accepted their offer to support the board with their analysis and ideas. As a result of this combined effort, the general manager has been instrumental in making changes I am about to give you and will commence on Monday. We will be starting the summer staffing schedule, and all departments will be at their staffing budget or slightly lower, and will remain at this level for the balance of the fiscal year. The menu items have been reduced and simplified to help reduce the size of our inventory. The number of large contracted entertainment events have been drastically cut until the F&B staff can restart the practice of generating profit and loss statements. That way we can identify our margins. Live entertainment such as dancing and karaoke will be reduced to half their schedules, no different than what we did last summer. Tuesday will be reserved for dancing every other week, and karaoke will take place the following Tuesday every other week. However, karaoke will go back to Saturdays starting July 18th and will remain on Saturdays every other week indefinitely. The staff member for the merchandising program within the Pro Shop has been released. The program, however, will remain in place for those residents that wish to take advantage of it. And finally, to improve the tracking of the number of personnel on staff, we have been working on conversion of our full-time and part-time numbers to FTEs, or commonly known as full-time equivalents. Because a part-time employee's hours can vary from 5 to 30 hours a week, it was very difficult to assess each department's totals other than hours worked. Simply stated, an FTE is defined as one employee working 40 hours per week. The GM is adamant about making the needed budget changes without disruption of services to the resident. Depending on the financials, additional changes may become necessary as the year progresses. The Finance Committee is still assessing our other areas for savings, and will also be assisting the board in our 2016 budget template. Let me summarize the board's current assessment. Chuck has brought many amenity-driven initiatives to Heritage Pines based on his professional experience. Some of these initiatives are new and resulted in changes to the way we operate. During his tenure, Chuck has gone through a learning process and has gained a better understanding of our culture. Accordingly, more changes may be necessary to better align operations and the budget to our expectations and requirements. The board will continue to monitor management's adjustments. The board strongly feels that Heritage Pines, from an operational aspect, is very properly managed, and our future is stable. We have over $2 million in the bank, and that has not changed for the last several years. The board is very thankful to all the committees, the general manager and his staff as they help guide us every day. And with that, I will let Mr. Ted Johnson, our board treasurer, give you his review of our finances and prognosis given the changes that are about to take place. Thank you. Ted?
Thank you, Randy. The last part of 2014 and beginning of 2015, we have not followed the budget, and hence the budget for 2014, we had a profit of only $6,000, and following amortization and depreciation, we sustained a loss of $60,000, which was the first loss since 2007. We are now on our summer schedule, and staffing is getting in line with the adjusted budget FTEs, and these cutbacks will remain for the balance of the fiscal year. Randy, Tom Landers, and myself will continue to work with Chuck on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to monitor the changes. Our goal is to stay within the budget as well as recoup losses we witnessed early in the fiscal year without causing any disruption to services for residents. At first, the turnaround was going slow, but currently we are showing a profit from all operations year to date at $154,000. We are budgeted to have a profit of $169,000, so the loss to date is from budget is roughly $16,000. We have over $2 million in the bank, which is normal for this time of year. What is important, the expenses are coming down, employee staff counts are in line with budget FTEs, and our cash flow has begun to stabilize. At the end of June, I feel that the majority of our work will be effectuated, and I anticipate at year's end to have a small to moderate profit after depreciation and amortization. The financial health of Heritage Pines is in good shape, but needs some alterations at this time. Thank you.
And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much.